In this video, I'll be sharing with you tips on how to correctly show your proof of funds when you're applying for Canadian permanent residence visa. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber living in Toronto, Canada. On this channel, I make videos about my life in Canada and also share tips on immigrating to Canada. I also talk about tech and other fun stuff on this channel. If this is the kind of content you'd like to see, please subscribe to my channel and share my videos with your loved ones. Thank you. Have you recently gotten invitation to apply for Canada's permanent residence application, maybe through the express entry, and you are required to show proof of funds? Watch this video to see how you can correctly show proof of funds in a way that will not lead to rejection or delay in your application. Make sure you watch this video to the very end. Thank you. I'll be showing you how I actually package my proof of funds for me and my wife. The first thing to do is to determine the correct amount to show as proof of funds when applying for PR. As you may already know, when applying for PR, there is a certain amount that the Canadian immigration requires you to show that you have in your account, so as to show them that you can actually fend for yourself when you get to Canada, right? There's a schedule which the Canadian immigration releases every year that shows the amount of money you must have in your bank account, which depends on the size of your family. So if you are a single, that will be a family of one. If you're married, maybe that's family of two. If you have a kid, that's family of three. If you have two kids, that makes you family of four. So your family size will determine the amount of money you would have to show for proof of funds. I'll show you the chart right now. On the website of the Canadian government, you would see the most recent schedule, which they just posted some days ago. Yeah, so this is the appropriate amount that you must have in your bank account depending on the number of family members you have. The second step is for you to determine what method you want to use. So these are the most popular methods: regular bank accounts, investment accounts. Some people also use their pension funds, savings, and also gift deed. So the gift deed is when someone is giving you that money as a gift, and they give you a document which tells the immigration that you have access to that money and they're giving you as a gift. It's not a loan. Yeah, so that is gift deed. Now you can also combine these different methods. For example, you can have some money in your bank account, have some money in your mutual funds account, investment, and you can have the rest given to you in form of a gift. That is also allowed. But while choosing the method you want to use to show your proof of funds, it should be very important for you to look at the Government of Canada's website to see what are the acceptable means of showing proof of funds. Then I will go to the website of the Canadian government now, just the same page where we saw the required amount of money. The number one thing is that the funds must be readily available to you. By this, it means you cannot use something that is not readily available to you as cash. For example, property. Cash that you will show the government must be readily available to you. Another thing is that if you have a spouse that is coming with you, you can actually put the money together in the same account or even in separate accounts. When you put the money in separate accounts, your spouse must give you a letter telling the immigration officer that you would have access to that funds for settling in Canada. I will put an example of this letter at the end of this video, so make sure you watch till the end. The third step is to obtain the required documentation from your financial institution. So by this I mean you would have to go to your bank to talk to them that you want a reference letter to show to the Canadian government that you have money with them. And the website also shows how they want this letter to look, as in it shows it lists the specific information that is required to be on that document. The letter must be printed on the financial institution's letterhead. It must include the bank's information. Of course, it must include your name it must show the amount of money you have in that account, and it must show the current balance of the account and the average balance for the past 6 months. I know that some financial institutions in Nigeria do not show the average balance on the letter they would give to you. However, they would give you account statement, and you can include your account statement just so that the visa officer can also see what the average balance is in the last 6 months. Just like I mentioned earlier, the method you are using to show your proof of fund would determine the kind of document you would use. If you're combining money from multiple accounts, you would have to show a summary of all those accounts in such a way that the visa officer would understand. Which brings me to my 4th point, and the most important point, if I may say, which is for you to write a letter of explanation. This is one place where a lot of people make mistakes, because they assume that once they've shown the visa officer, or once they've submitted all the required documents in their application, that should suffice, and the visa officer should be able to put 2 and 2 together and make their decision. This is one major thing that I believe may cause a delay or even rejection in some cases. I have had some people talk to me about being asked to present additional documentation, and you know that once you are being asked to present additional documentation, it just shows that there's a bit of delay, because the visa officer attending to your application probably does not understand a particular part of your application, and they need some more documents for you to give them some explanation. Instead of going through this route, why not present all your information clearly right from the get-go, so as not to cause any delay? Now, my point again, write a letter of explanation, and I will also show you a format you can follow, which I believe worked in our own case and should also work for you. The first thing to note is to create a table of summaries. Create a table summarizing the amount that you are required to show as proof of funds, and summarizing the amount you have in each of the accounts from where you are combining funds. For example, if you are showing proof of funds from 2 different bank accounts, you can create a simple table just like this one that shows the amount of money you have in each of those accounts. The table should also show the currency of the money you have in each of those accounts, and show the Canadian dollar equivalence, just like in this table. For example, when I was submitting my application, we had money in 2 bank accounts. One is an investment account, and the other is a normal current account with the bank. One of those accounts is a Naira account, while the second one is a British pounds account, which I see indicated here as GBP. One has about this amount in it, which is in Naira, and the other has this amount, which is in pounds. Then I converted that amount into Canadian dollars, which are put here, and I also highlighted. So there's no way a visa officer would look at this document and they would be confused. The second point I want to make here is that you should show a screenshot of the conversion rates you used. This is one major place where people make mistakes, by just using a conversion rate and not explaining what the conversion rate is. Of course, the visa officer knows that you don't spend Canadian dollars in your country, so they also have a conversion rate which they use. But the truth is, you know that exchange rates are never static. It varies from one amount to the other. So it will be good for you to show the conversion rate you used as at that day that you are making your document. For example, when we were making this our own proof of funds, I guess I don't think the date is here. Okay, it was in August 2020, I guess. You put in the amount and you put the screenshots which shows the amount as at that day. So if you see this This is the amount, and this is the equivalent in Canadian dollars, which is the same thing which was put here, right? And I did the same thing for the pounds account, and I also mentioned in the letter that I have attached. In fact, it is not even a letter, it is just like a summary document, and I put all this together in a single PDF file, which is what I attached in a single file at the placeholder for proof of funds on our application. So the first thing is to show a table of summary that shows how much is in each account. The second thing is to show a screenshot of the conversion rate you used when when converting your local currency, in this case Nigerian naira, into Canadian dollars. The third thing is to include the reference letter you've gotten from your bank, right? Then the last thing is, if you're combining money from your spouse's account, make sure that your spouse writes a letter that is addressed to the visa officer stating or confirming that you have access to that money and the money has been set aside for the purpose of you settling down in Canada. The idea is for you to keep your application very simple. That is one major error that people make, which may cause delay or even rejection in their application. Make your application as simple and straight to the point as possible. With that, I can assure you that there won't be any delays in your application and you'll get your passport request as soon as possible. I hope you got some information from this video. If you know anyone that requires this information, please send the video to them. Let them watch and learn one or two things that may benefit them in their application. If you want to know how much it's cost generally to migrate to Canada, you can watch this video right here. I have made a breakdown of each and every money you would need to spend if you are considering coming to Canada. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye.